this is the AgCoTech website. This company specializes in providing carbon offset emissions by producing medicated blocks that are fed to cows, which produce a lot of methane. When they eat the blocks or lick the blocks, it decreases the amount of methane produced to such a significant amount that it is able to create carbon offset. They specialize in Asia Pacific areas, particularly third world countries, and the idea is that they work with what they call small farm holders. Now, these are farms that only have 1 or 2 cows, so each cow is really, really important. We're not thinking about the massive industrial ones like we have in Australia or New Zealand. We're talking about poor farmers who can afford 1 or 2 cows, and most of those times those people have to go out, cut the grass and bring it to the cows because they've only got a small place and those cows are kept in that particular thing. Now, because of the nature of this program, it doesn't actually sell to the farmers. What it does is it actually sells to the larger corporate enterprises that want to offset their carbon. We're talking about places like Qantas and big car manufacturing plants, anything that produces a lot of carbon. These guys want to be involved with, and they also realize that there are other interested businesses that are much smaller that will also want to be involved in this. So there was a number of players involved in this, and when they came to us, and by they I mean AgCoTech, they really wanted to reach a lot of different people, and they needed a lot of different information to reach all of those people. It was quite tricky at first to sit down and figure out, okay, we need 3 major pages with this information for these ones, this information for these ones. But once we got stuck into it, it actually worked out quite well. And what you'll see is that we have the organizations, the investors, and the partners tab. So all of these are for different people. So the homepage is all about being very broad and just creating links to the right information and explaining what's going on. So with the website on here, we started out with a very clear instructions about what they do, an innovative agricultural solution for carbon offset, so we put that in there, and then we sort of gave a brief overview of how it works, and then we went one step further. We talked about what the program is, we gave some numbers. Fun fact, putting facts on your website increases the trust of your website. If you can back it up, then put it on there, because quantifying your work makes a huge difference. We talked a little bit about how the program works and all the advantages of working with this program. So, for example, with most carbon offset programs, you pay your money and somebody goes and plants a tree. Okay, and then over the next 10 years, that tree will basically work through so much carbon. Now, because of the way that this program works, it has multiple benefits. So it benefits everybody across the line. So the first company that benefits is the carbon buys the carbon offsets. Okay, that money is then used to produce the blocks. That creates jobs. Those factories are in the countries where those blocks are delivered. Okay, and then that provides jobs. And then those blocks then go to the farmers, and those farmers give it to their cows, and so their cows put on more weight, they produce less methane, and they become healthier, live longer, and produce more milk and meat and stuff like that, which allows the farmer to become wealthier over a few years. Okay, the other advantage that isn't really talked about much, and we thought would be really important to put in there, is that those factories that are in those countries, they can hire women, and that's a big deal because in most of those places, women are restricted to sweatshop jobs. So giving them an opportunity to work in a factory that isn't a sweatshop and to deal with farming and all that sort of stuff is an awesome opportunity for them. So there's lots of positive things all the way along the line. And that's what we need to get across here, is that this isn't just another carbon offset program. This is a program that does way more. And so we need to make sure that we get that across. And the other thing that we need to do is to make sure that we constantly updating with new information. And these guys were very clear that they needed a blog and they needed to constantly put up lots of information. And I think they've done a really good job of maintaining and looking after that. And the information is fantastic. So we were talking before about the different parties that are involved. So there are investors, companies that want to invest in the company to grow the company, and then there are people that want to buy the carbon offsets, and then there are other partners as well. So what we need to do is make sure that on the home page there were different sections out for each one. With this one here, when we were thinking about the branding, we wanted to really focus on trust and loyalty, and we just wanted to look amazing. So what we did is we made sure that we used really clean and tidy fonts. We used really good quality images. We used deep dark blue because that blue looks really, really professional. And we used the gold in there because both of those colors really sort of show that royalness of it all. The other cool thing you'll notice is that everywhere in here you've got these little gold full stops, and they're quite square. That was actually entirely intentional because the blocks are actually kind of a brownie color, which you could almost construe as being a kind of gold color in the right light. And so you've got the name here, and then you've got the little block because they produce medicated blocks. Okay, so that's basically what we do. Is we made sure that all of the main stuff was all in gold, and so if there's something that you needed to do or you need to read, that it was in gold and that it was bullet pointed and has this gold ending at each one of those. So lots and lots of text on these websites. A lot of businesses tend to go away from a lot of text, and that's fine. Text does make it look a bit full and can make it look a bit crowded sometimes, but you have to balance that with the search engine optimization. If there's not enough text on there, Google doesn't know what it's looking for. So making sure that you get the right text is important, and making sure that you get the right amount of text is also important. So that's the About page. So for the organizations page, we really wanted to make sure that we gave them all the right information for organizations. Okay, so each page has got similar points, but they're all explained in a different way that relates more to that particular person that needs the information at the moment. The newest page they've put in here is their partners page. So they've been working with Sydney University and with the Australian government to try and get all this stuff out, and that was a huge win for them. So making sure that they had all of the partners and everything all sorted out was big for them. Okay, and they needed to have a blog page because this one is all about information. Okay, in the future they're looking at all kinds of upgrades that will see clients be able to come in and purchase and look up things and connect to database, but for what they needed at the time, all they needed was information and be able to be found by Google. So that's really what we want to do there. Once again, I'm really, really proud of this website. I think it looks really, really awesome. Working with a company that's based in Singapore and Australia and having two separate addresses was very interesting. I hadn't done that before, but it all worked out in the end. So if you ever want to drop by and have a look, or you want to read a bit more about it, I highly recommend coming and having a look at their website. It's a great thing, I believe. So I'm really hopeful that this company does achieve great things in the future, and I'm so proud to be part of this team. Thank you.